Alright, so we're going to find how to find an interior angle of a regular polygon. So remember when I say an interior angle, I'm just wanting one of the interior angles. And remember, a regular polygon has the same number of sides. The sides are congruent and all the angles are congruent. And so I have kind of a rule, 360 divided by the number of sides, and then subtract that from 180. And this is it kind of in formula form. But I kind of want to start it with example 2 and kind of show you where that comes from in the picture, because I don't want you to have to necessarily memorize the formula. I kind of want you to understand how I went about getting it. So example 2 says find the measure of an interior angle of the regular polygon picture below. So in this one, if we count up all the sides, we know this is a 9-sided figure. Okay? And so when we want to find one of the interior angles, we're trying to find that angle there, or this one, or this one. Kind of get my gist. So I don't know which one of these. I'm just trying to find one of them. And so what we learned about finding one exterior angle is if I wanted to find one exterior angle, I can just do the 360 divided by the number of sides we have, which is, in this case, would be 40 degrees. So that means this exterior angle out here is 40 degrees. Okay? Not what we're looking for, because we're looking for an interior angle. But now the relationship between the interior angle and the exterior angle is that they form a linear pair. So these two angles have to add up to 180. So I can now do the 180 minus 40, and I end up with 140 degrees. So now I know that this interior angle, or each of these interior angles, is 140 degrees. Okay, so that's how I ended up with that. There is another way to go about this. You can actually just calculate the sum of the interior, and then you know that all the angles are equal, so you can divide that by 9 sides and still get it. So just to kind of show you an example, and this is a whole nother way to get about it, because I don't want you to, if you were thinking this, I don't want you to think that's wrong. So I would do, remember the 9 minus 2 times 180, so that's 7 times 180, and you end up with 1260. So you know all of these angles in the interior have to add up to 1260. Well, we know there's 9 of them. So if I did 1260 divided by 9, and you still end up with 140 degrees for each separate angle. Either method is valid. Just kind of wanted to show you one. I just don't want you to have to constantly feel like you have to memorize everything. Okay? So now let's go look at example 1, because this one doesn't have a picture. So it says, what is the measure of each interior angle of a regular 18-gon? So I'm going to find, well, because I know I want an interior angle, I'm going to find the exterior angle. So I know 360 divided by 18 gives me 20. So I know that this 20 degrees is an exterior angle. And so now, because I know the exterior angle, I can find the interior angle, because the interior and exterior make a linear pair. So I can do 180 minus 20, and it equals 160 degrees. So I know that interior angle, one of them is 160 degrees. You can also go ahead and find the sum of the interior of the 18-gon, which would do 18 minus 2 times 180. And then you can divide that by 18. You'll still end up with 160 degrees. Okay? All right, let's look at example 3. In example 3, we want to solve for x. And solving for x is in the expression represented by one of the interior angles. So that's how we know we need to find one of the interior angles. So for me, I like to go find the exterior. So I know if I counted up all the sides, it's a 10-sided figure. So now I'm going to do 360 divided by 10, and I end up with 36 degrees. And so I know 36 degrees is the exterior angle. Now I can actually go find the interior angle Or I just know that now these two angles, the 10x plus 4 degrees and the 36 degrees, have to add up to 180 because they're a linear pair, and I can find x that way. But if you would like to go find the actual angle on the inside, so I would do 180 minus 36 degrees, and we end up with 144. So I know that this angle is really 144 degrees. So now that I know that 10x plus 4 should equal 144, and I just solve for that. And I know that x is 14. Either method you go about it, you should still end up with x is 14. Okay. And then for example 4, it's very similar to example 3. We want to solve for x, and we see that x is in the interior of the polygon, so we're trying to find an interior angle. So again, I always like to find the exterior angle. You can go ahead and find the sum of the interior if you like. So I know this is 5 sides, so I'm going to do 360 divided by 5, and that's 72 degrees. So I know the 72 degrees is the exterior angle. And then I know the 9x minus 18 plus 72 has to add up to 180. So I'm going to do 9x minus 18 plus 72 degrees has to equal 180 degrees because they form a linear pair. So now we're just going to combine my terms, move the numbers to one side, and divide by 9. And this one you end up with x being 14 as well. And either method you go, you should still end up with x being 14. Okay? And that's it.